Are you interested in being a 0.0001%er? Are you interested in being part of the 0.0001%? I was doing a training this morning with my Email Millions Mastermind members, and I was sharing this statistic that I recently learned during one of my reading sessions early in the morning. We all talk about, as entrepreneurs and business owners, we all talk about the slight edge, that we want to be top 5%ers. We want to be top 1%ers. We want to have that slight edge. And then I was reading something early this morning. If you do this for 1 hour, one single hour, 60 minutes every day, then you are in the 0.00001%. There's 4 zeros and a 1% there. So you're a rare bird indeed if you do this one thing. And what is this one thing? If you do it for an hour a day, you're in the 0.00001%. It's simply if you read a book or a newsletter, if you read for 60 minutes a day, that's it, 1 hour per day, you're in the top 0.0001%. I think it's more a reflection on the world we live in 2024, where fewer and fewer people read at all. We just surpassed a few months ago a study by Forbes magazine where the average Joe or Jill, the normies, are spending now, they've broken the 8-hour mark on their smartphone or their iPhone per day. 8 hours of scrolling, watching videos, texting, emailing, over 8 hours just on their phone. This doesn't include their laptop, doesn't include TV, doesn't include anything other than their smartphone. 8+ hours a day. If you're sleeping 7 to 8 hours, that means that you're awake 16, 17 hours. Man, oh man, 8 hours a day staring down at their phone. Is there any doubt why we're awash in anxiety, manufactured mental illness, depression, suicide, stress? 8+ hours just on the screen, on the iPhone or the smartphone, not to mention extra time on television, other screens, pads, MacBooks, laptops. Wow, just absolutely microwaving their brains, literally microwaving their brains. Small children, toddlers, even infants I see at restaurants now hand it mom and dad's dumb phone, just microwaving their prefrontal cortex, microwaving their attention span, microwaving their ability to think independently, microwaving their ability to problem solve. It's just stunning. So doing the exact opposite of the crowd and reading real books, real newsletters, real magazines, real newspapers like I do, or printing off emails, printing off ebooks. I refuse to read on a screen. I'll read a text, I'll read an email, but I will not read on a screen. So if I have an ebook I want to read, or a Matt Fury newsletter, he sends it in a PDF, I just print it off. I'll have Marc Andre print off an ebook. If it's over 50 pages, I'll have him do it at the printers. I refuse to spend any additional time microwaving my brain on a screen. That said, it's just crazy the way, like how much you can stack the deck in your favor, how much you can load the deck in your favor if you just start reading 1 hour a day. Like, I was stunned when I read this morning. I thought, okay, well, because I read anywhere from 1 to 5 hours. During the week, I'll read 60 minutes, 90 minutes, it all depends. And on the weekends, I'm like reading anywhere from 4 to 5 hours. If we go up to the pools of family here in Naples, it's nothing for me to read 3, 4, 5 hours. I knew it was my advantage. I knew it was like having an extra player on the field. The fact that I'm reading, and I'm reading personal development too. I'm not reading trash. I'm reading personal development. So I thought it was a slight edge. And I was like, I owe all my success, any success that I've had, I owe it to being a serious student, to being a voracious reader of real books. And I've read for an hour a day for the last 20 years because there was a lot of things I didn't know about. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about advertising. I didn't know anything about how to coach hockey. I didn't know anything about finance. I didn't know, when I went in the barbershop business, I didn't know anything about barbershops. I didn't know anything about the insurance business. I didn't know anything about the consulting business. So I have been a voracious reader and student for the last 2 decades. And I knew it was my advantage. But now in 2024, with so many people not reading, just not reading, they don't read a single chapter in a book. I saw a stat the other day where the average American, the average Canadian, the average Western person doesn't read a single book in a year. And it's much worse than that. So if you want to give yourself literally a 0.00001% advantage, stack deck, extra player on the field, whatever you want to call it. This is like putting an entire team on the field, another additional team. You're on the power play. You're on the power play the entire time. Just start reading 60 minutes a day. I love the quote from the great late Charlie Munger. Charlie recently passed away. What was he, age 100? He was either 100 or a few days short. One of the greatest investors, thinkers, and students of all time. He was Warren Buffett's business partner. And Charlie, in one of his quotes that I read, Charlie said, "Whenever I have a book in my hand, I never, ever, ever feel that I'm wasting time." Man, that quote really hit home for me. Because sometimes, I take books in my vehicle, there's books in our bathroom, there's books in our kitchen, there's books in our living room, there's books, if I go to the pickleball courts, if I go to the horse barn, wherever I go, it's just books, books, books. Disposable reading, I call it. And sometimes I think to myself, should I be doing something else? I was up at the pickleball courts last night, and Emery was having one of her group clinic lessons, and I watched for half an hour, and then I started reading. I had my book. And sometimes I'm like, well, I could be doing something else like the normies. I could be on my phone, but I was the only parent there that was mentally present, and I just read for a while. I had my book and my highlighter, a couple recipe cards, but I love, Charlie's got a great quote there. Whenever I have a book in my hand, I never, ever, ever feel that I'm wasting time. I'll take advice from somebody that's that successful in business and life any day of the week. One last thing that I read this morning that I want to share with you is about reading. Let's say you don't love to read. Admittedly, Krista and I, my wife Krista and I, are working on this with our 11-year-old daughter Emery. Emery is a student. She loves a lot of things, but she's not a voracious reader by nature. She needs to read even more. Like, we have a rule in our home. She starts her day like we do by reading 20 pages. That's been a rule in our home forever. She gets up at 5:45 like I do, a few minutes before 6, and she reads in her bedroom, and we start our day with reading real books. But as far as just picking up a book, she doesn't have that passion or that obsession yet. So Dan Lazonis, the wizard behind the Einstein Blueprint, he said, Michael, he says, never ever tell a child what to read, never force them to read. He says, just encourage them to read whatever they want. That is some of the most powerful advice, because we see now Emery, she just picks whatever she wants. So she's into the Harry Potter series now. She's reading comic books. I got out my old Archie and Jughead. I have like 300 of those comic books I used to have as a kid, and I had them in the barber shop. So she's reading those, and she's reading books on equestrian, and she's I don't care, and Krista doesn't care. And the saying there is, read whatever you want until you love to read. So read what you love. Doesn't matter what it is. Read whatever you love until you love reading. And that's another writer downer for me. Encourage your kids, encourage your grandkids. Read whatever they love, does not matter, until they love reading. It's a muscle, right? Reading is a muscle. So if you were once a reader and you're no longer a reader, a lot of my clients are like that. Start reading about things you love. Sports, art, movies, guitar, marketing, whatever it is. I don't care. Whatever your passion is, start reading things you love every day until you reignite your passion and love for reading. Does that make sense? Just start reading things you love until your love of reading returns. And to me, that's the way to raise kids, that's the way to raise grandkids, and that's the way to reignite your own personal passion for reading. Man, oh man, it's the 0.00001% edge. And you tell me you can't read for 60 minutes a day when the average person is spending over 8 hours every day just on their iPhone. 8 hours. Just think of the separation season, the stacked deck, the loaded game in your favor. If you just take an hour and cut that off your however much time you're spending on your iPhone and invest that into reading first thing in the morning or last thing at night, wow, you are just giving yourself a power play. You are stacking the deck, you're loading the deck, you're giving yourself an unfair advantage, a 0.00001% advantage. I took that number, by the way, this morning. I wrote it on one of my 3x5 recipe index cards, and I have it out by the pool where I read every morning, just to remember myself that an hour a day, 60 minutes a day of real reading is giving me that level of advantage. If you're also looking for an advantage, my business partner, Marc-Andre LeBlanc, who you may or may not know, is taking on 5 clients. He's going to personally run 5 email funnels. An email funnel is soup to nuts, everything that we do with email. It's a landing page, which is a website where you capture emails, writing the emails, sending the emails, cleaning the list, everything and anything soup to nuts in terms of your email funnel. I'm not a funnel guy. I've never claimed to be a funnel guy. I'm a writer, and I shoot the videos and Mark does the rest. So Mark came forward with this idea. He says, I'd like to help 5 of our guys or gals who are having a problem with technology. Like, if you're a tech dinosaur like me, I mean, I don't do any of this stuff. I've never been on Berserker email. I've never sent an email in my entire career like this email. I write it, but I don't send it. I just email it to Mark. And same thing with the video. I shoot this video and I text it to him, and he takes care of the rest. I've never uploaded a video. I've never uploaded a video to YouTube. I've never used an email platform. I don't know how to add an email. I don't know how to add links. I have never done that. I'm total email and tech caveman. So if you're one of these people who's a tech dinosaur and you still want to build an email list, you want to email it every few days, and you want somebody to manage the whole thing, the whole damn thing. You don't have to do anything. I even write the emails. Then reply to this email and I'll send you the details. It's a complete soup to nuts program. It's only for 5 entrepreneurs. It's a year commitment, $2,500 a month, which is a steal. I mean, if you're going to hire a marketing director or babysit an assistant or babysit an employee and pay taxes and all that, anybody good's going to cost you, 65 to 100 grand. Trust me, I know. I've had a marketing director, I've had an executive assistant, I've had a business partner, I've had an office manager, I've had all these positions over the last 20 years. So this comes without all the headaches of managing a person. And with Marc Andre, it's a guy who can do this stuff in his sleep, right? He's 25 years old. He's brilliant. He's the opposite of me. He's a tech wizard. He's an email wizard, and he'll do it all for you each and every month. You want to send 1 email, you want to send 2 emails, you want to send 3 emails a week, he just takes care of it for you. And you can worry about doing what you do best. Reply to this email if you want more information. Serious inquiries only. There's only 5 spots, and already we've had dozens and dozens and dozens of replies. $2,500 a month, and you'll also clean your list and keep it compliant and get rid of the bots and get rid of any of the spam bots, and he'll just take care of all of it. You don't, like me, you won't have to worry about it. The return on investment, like something like that, I have no clue. I just know that email is the honey that brings in the money, but only if you build a list, email it consistently, and sell products that help people. If you're interested, reply to this email and I'll get you the details in the next 24 hours. That's it for today. Remember, if you want that 0.00001% stack deck advantage, you know what you have to do. 1 hour of each and every day. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that'll change yours. Be relentless.